I just spent a few seconds looking at your website, and I can already tell you why it's not converting visitors into clients. When potential clients come to your site, they make split-second decisions about whether to trust you, but many solopreneurs fail this test without even knowing it exists. What if I told you there's a simple 5-second technique that can instantly reveal not only what's wrong with your website, but your social media posts, and even your email campaigns? The best part is that you don't need any design experience or expensive software. All you need is your eyes. I'm about to show you the squint test, and it's the same technique that helped one of my clients increase their consultation bookings by 40% in just 2 weeks. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at your marketing materials the same way ever again. Literally. Hey, I'm Doree, and if you're a content creator, a coach, a consultant, a voice actor, or any other kind of solopreneur who's trying desperately to get your website and your marketing materials seen and convert your website visitors into paying clients, then this video is for you. I remember when I first launched my business, well, both of them, I spent weeks perfecting my about page, crafting the perfect service descriptions, but it didn't matter because I was getting crickets. Not anymore. In this video, like I said, I'm going to teach you the squint test, a simple thing you can do to see exactly what your visitors see when they first encounter your content. We'll cover what the squint test is, how to do it, the biggest mistakes that I see solopreneurs making with their content design, and how to use your results to improve your website, your email marketing, and social media outreach. Plus, I'll show you some real examples and give you actionable tools that you can start using today. Let's go. Alright, so what is this squint test that I keep talking about? It's literally what it sounds like. You squint your eyes while you're looking at your website or marketing materials until the details get blurry, but you could still make out big shapes and high contrast elements. What can you still see when everything's blurred? That's your visual hierarchy, the stuff that grabs attention first. And here's why this works so well. When someone lands on your website or scrolls past your LinkedIn post, they're not carefully reading every word. Their brain is doing a rapid scan looking for the most prominent visuals to decide whether to stick around or to bounce. The squint test mimics exactly how visitors' brains process information in those crucial first seconds. Now I can already hear what you're thinking. Doree, that really sounds too simple to actually make a difference. But here's the thing. What I'm telling you right now is backed by solid research. The Nielsen-Norman Group studied over 500 people for 13 years and found that people, when they're reading online, primarily scan content instead of reading word for word. So that means that your potential clients are making decisions in milliseconds, and the squint test helps make sure that those milliseconds work in your favor. How many times have you heard something like, "Wow, your website looks nice. It's pretty. That looks cool"? This is exactly why visual hierarchy matters more for solopreneurs than for big companies. When Coca-Cola puts up a billboard, people already know what they're selling. But when someone finds your coaching or voiceover website, they need to understand 3 things immediately: what you do, who you help, and why they should choose you over everyone else. The data on this might shock you. Research on service-based businesses shows that conversion rates range from just 1 to 4% for email signups and 10 to 33% for consultation bookings. So that means if 100 people visit your website, only 1 to 4 of them might sign up for your email newsletter, and only 10 to 33 of those people might book a call with you. Visual hierarchy is one of the biggest factors in determining where you fall in those ranges. But unlike big companies that have brand recognition, you have an advantage as a solopreneur. When your visual hierarchy is done right, it creates what psychologists call a halo effect. People see your clean, organized website and immediately assume that your services are equally well organized and professional. This perception alone can justify charging higher rates and differentiate you from competitors with confusing, boring, or ugly websites. Alright, let's get into the actual technique of the squint test. I want you to open your homepage right now. Seriously, pause the video if you need to and go open your website. Then sit back about an arm's length from your screen and slowly squint your eyes until the text becomes blurry, but you can still make out shapes, colors, and the general layout. Don't strain your eyes, just gently reduce your vision until the details fade. Now I ask, what grabs your attention first? Is it your headline, a client testimonial, your professional photo, maybe some random graphic element you never intended to emphasize? Well, whatever remains visible while you're squinting are the first things that visitors will notice when they go to your website. Is the most notable thing that they see, the thing that pops out at them, one of the things that's most important to your business? Here are the 3 things that I want you to pay attention to when you're doing the squint test. First, size and spacing. The larger elements you have will naturally command more attention, and generous white space makes important content stand out. If your book a call button disappears when you squint, it's probably too small. Second, check out the color and contrast. High contrast will draw the eye while similar tones blend together. Your most important information should maintain a strong contrast even when you're squinting. Third, typography variations. Your headline should be clearly visible, subheading secondary, and body text should recede into the background. We just did all this on the desktop, but don't forget about mobile. Take your phone and hold it an arm's length away from you and repeat the process. I can't tell you how many times I have seen websites that pass the desktop squint test only to fail miserably with mobile. And as far as I'm concerned, it's still a fail. Why? Because over 62% of email conversions, people signing up for things, buying things, what have you, happen on mobile devices. So your visual hierarchy needs to work on any type of device. It's because you don't know where clients will find you. All right, I want to talk about the biggest mistake that I see solopreneurs making on this topic. It's the belief that everything is important and they just shove it all on the homepage. You want to communicate your expertise, your services, your testimonials, your credentials, and your story, but not all at once. When you smash all of it onto the page without any thought to the design, and then squint to these websites, nothing stands out clearly because everything is fighting for attention. The result? Visitors see it, they get confused, overwhelmed, and they can't identify what to pay attention to, so they bounce. The second mistake is burying your calls to action. Your buttons that say, schedule a free discovery call, or download my free guide, should be the most prominent elements when you're squinting. But so many solopreneurs hide these critical conversion elements in tiny text or low contrast colors. There was one time where I worked with a coach whose CTA button was the same color as her background. I'm not kidding. It literally disappeared during the squint test. But that's not all. Here's another big one. Inconsistent branding across platforms. Your LinkedIn profile, your website, email newsletters, and Instagram posts should all pass the squint test with similar visual priorities. If your Instagram is emphasizing completely different elements than your website, you're confusing potential clients about what matters most. I see this all the time with voice actors and consultants who may have interesting Instagram feeds, but their websites look completely different. Not in a good way. And finally, template constraints. I get it. The DIY website builders are very popular. They make it less scary to set up a website. We even got AI website builders now. But the thing is, with platforms like Squarespace and Wix and even WordPress, the templates come with predetermined visual hierarchies that might not match your business needs. Many solopreneurs just accept the defaults, and they don't test whether they actually guide attention to business critical information. Your template might be gorgeous, it might be a beautiful website, but if it fails the squint test to emphasize your specific goals, it's not doing you any favors. Now let's talk about applying the squint test in other ways, because you're probably creating content across more than one platform. LinkedIn is huge for business owners, but it requires a different approach. When you squint a successful LinkedIn post, you'll notice that personal branding elements, key statistics, and clear value propositions remain most visible. So structure your post with strong opening lines that stay readable when you're squinting, and make sure your call to action stands out from the surrounding content. Instagram is all about immediate visual impact since it's inherently visual. Your images need to pass the squint test independently of any text. This is especially important for content creators and voice actors who rely on visual storytelling. Test your Instagram posts by squinting at them in your phone's preview before publishing. Your key message should be apparent, even when details are blurred. Email marketing is where I see the biggest missed opportunities. People scan emails even faster than websites, so your hierarchy needs to be crystal clear. Your subject line is the first level of hierarchy, but once the email is opened, the design is what takes over. Structure with one focal point. So say for instance you're promoting a coaching program. That should dominate visually in your email, while the testimonials and bonuses stay secondary. For your blog posts and lead magnets, remember that most people scan before deciding whether to read in depth. So your headline should pass the squint test by being significantly larger than body text. Important statistics, quotes, and takeaways should be formatted to remain visible even when details are blurry. This could mean using pull quotes, bullet points, or highlighting techniques that create visual emphasis. The basic squint test is free and it doesn't require anything other than your eyes, but there's some digital resources that can help even more. Polypane has a far-sighted emulation that provides a digital version of the squint test that's more precise and shareable. And there are other color contrast analyzers that ensure your hierarchy works for everyone, including people with vision differences. What I'm hinting at here is accessibility. We want to make sure our websites are accessible. Here's how to measure whether your improvements are actually working. Focus on metrics that matter for your business: consultation booking rates, email sign-up conversions, and resource download numbers. Set up Google Analytics goals for key actions and compare your conversion rates month over month. Even a 1% improvement in conversion rate can mean substantial revenue increases for service-based businesses. So let's recap what we've covered here. The squint test is your new secret weapon for ensuring your content guides attention exactly where you need it. Remember the 3 key things to watch for: size and spacing, color and contrast, and typography hierarchy. You should apply this technique to your website, your social media posts, email campaigns, and content marketing materials. And whatever you do, avoid cramming everything onto your homepage and make sure your calls to action are visible even when squinting. The squint test is a quick and dirty way to clean up your website design, but you also need to make sure you have the right content on every page. My video on website content design and content audits can help you do just that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.